What's going on, everybody? Welcome. And today, I just want to talk about how we can be our own worst enemy. And what that means is, there's a lot of times where, whether it be individually or as a group, we want things to go right for ourselves, and we have dreams, we have goals, ambitions, and mentally, we're determined to see it through. And physically, we have the ambition, we have the energy to go for it. And we may even have the capital, the means to bring those things to fruition. And then something happens. Something happens where it just don't work out, and number of reasons. I go all days talking about how things can go down and fail. But just something happens where the plans you had just doesn't work out how you thought it would. And when all the smoke clears and, the dust settles and you realize the reasons why things didn't happen the way they wanted to, or way you wanted them to, a lot of times we tend to seek outside reasons for the failure. And that may be true, right? But a lot of times there are instances where many issues that happen in business can be avoided. And it's usually simple. There's usually simple things, nothing too crazy, nothing just outlandish. It's just simple things that we allow to slip through the cracks. And a lot of times we don't take responsibility for the part that we have in things failing. And like I said, there are times where things happen outside of us are just unfortunate. That happens. But many times, if we're being honest, many of the reasons why businesses fall, or nations fall for that matter, relationships fall or fail, well, a lot of things just don't go right in our life. If you really uncover all of the evidence, and if you really do the math on why things fall, many of the time it's us that's doing the self-sabotaging. It can be passively self-sabotage, or we can be aggressively self-sabotaging ourselves. Simply put, we become our own worst enemy. Many of the times, we do the most damage to ourselves and to whatever movement we have. You see this when organizations have a good stronghold, and many organizations that want to better people's lives, they get a strong foothold. They do well, and they're growing and they're progressing. Making changes. Things are getting done, right? And then all of a sudden you hear about the organization failing. Something's happening. Something happened. Don't really know how. Just something happens where the organization, all of a sudden, out of the blue, crumbles, falls, fails, and never gets back to its previous state. And you always wonder, why does that happen? How is it you may spend years, decades, working as a group to build an organization for a particular cause, purpose, and it works. Everybody's progressing. It just works well. Just things are going, and goals are being met. Then all of a sudden, something happens where it's just out of the blue, people just fall by the wayside, and people jealousy comes into play, and animosity builds, and it was before you know it, the organization is dismantled, gone, has disintegrated right before your eyes, and no one knows what happens, but we all know that organization is gone. And when you try to rebuild that organization, it doesn't get back to its previous glory. And when you think about it, a lot of times, yes, there are external forces that work, but the biggest force that can either create or destroy something, it comes from inside. Ego gets in the way. Pride, all that. Laziness, ulterior motives. Everybody wants to be the person. Everybody wants to be, say too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody believes that their idea is the best idea, and they think that the organization will be run better with them as a leader. And because you have everybody want to be the leader in something, the goal gets forgotten, and then the goal end up falling altogether. And then you realize that it's not really the outside force doing the most damage. It's really people becoming their own worst enemy. You're realizing that, people can't infiltrate your group if the bond is strong. So a group or organization can't be infiltrated unless you have a weak link. You say, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Yeah. Organizations can't be infiltrated and dismantled if the links are strong. Because there'd be no way to penetrate. So really, when you become your own worst enemy, it's easy to break up a group, break up organization, break up a household, break up a family. It's easy to do that. Break up a nation. It's easy to do that. See, it's not the devil. It's not the outward devil that's the problem. It's the inward devil that does the damage. So when you become your own worst enemy, you cripple anything, you cripple any progress you may have. So be mindful of that. Don't become your own worst enemy. All right? Don't become your own worst enemy. Catch y'all later. Peace.